Great. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes out to speak with me. I appreciate
No
it.
problem.
So, I mean, obviously, from what I've seen with Shoresy so far, it definitely stands on its own 2 feet, apart from Letterkenny, and it's hilarious. So, can you guys, talk about maybe a couple standout moments during the filming?
Dio, why don't you start?
Standout moments during the filming. Well, there was a really cool part where my sister got to be in it. That was really exciting. She's never really acted before in her life. She's a former Olympian. And I was like, Jared was like, he named a character after her. And then I was like, what about just like asking her? And he was like, would she do it? And I was like, I don't know, maybe if I tell her to and not screw it up. No, I'm just kidding. And she came up and she did it and she killed it. And in that same day, we also had Scott Thompson. And that was just like a really epic day. And I will never forget that day.
That's awesome.
It was an epic day. Yeah, to get to work with Scott for a day was pretty amazing. Like he's a legend, I think, especially for Canadians in comedy. And like, oh my God, he's so funny. So much footage no one can ever see of the things that he said and did. Yeah, it was great. It really was. It was such a treat.
Yeah.
And it was fun to see Dio boss around her own sister, even though she's older.
I was like, do you know your lines? It's up for me. I'm not kidding.
What's a memory of yours?
Yeah.
Big memory? Well, geez. You
remember
like
when we made the show, right?
Memory, it's like just being with all of you from Letterkenny. That was just the biggest part of it. I was like, dang, there's my boy Glenn. There's Wayne. That was the biggest part for me, just being there.
That's cool. That's sweet.
Absolutely. And for Jacob, was there, any different approach you took, for this series versus Letterkenny? I mean, obviously we still have the fun banter and all that the fans love so much.
Yeah, no, for sure. The show feels very different to me because we're telling a story. We have a plot. So in that way, it kind of changes the way I'm going to do things and the way I'm going to guide things along. And I wanted to change the look up a little bit so that it just gave Shoresy his own vibe. If Letterkenny vibes like Wayne, I wanted it to. I wanted to vibe differently for Shoresy. But otherwise, I think I try to run my sets the same way in general. I try to keep it loose and keep people in a good place so they feel like they can say things and contribute and ask questions. And but yeah, the biggest difference is we're telling one big story.
Jacob keeps his sets really like collaborative. It's really nice. It's honestly, Jacob has set the bar so high in terms of directors to work with. I'm not joking you. Yeah.
So I was going to ask if there was ever any room left for improv and stuff like that, because sometimes it's, very like, this is where we're going and like people can add in and do this, or there's something that's like somebody brought in by accident and it just ended up sticking.
Absolutely. That stuff happens all the time. It's less improv and more like as we rehearse, ideas come out. Jared will make changes. He'll add dialogue, take things out. If we feel a joke isn't working, we lose it. If we feel like something funnier was said, improvisationally. But in general, we don't ask actors to improv because this thing that it does have in common with Letterkenny is there's a lot of dialogue. And so when you're learning all that dialogue, your instinct is not to like, let me see if I can make more up. It's like, you're just trying to remember all of your lines because the scenes are long. And especially in this one, there's a lot of people that can make it even harder. But yeah, there's always room for ideas. Jared is also very collaborative that way. If he hears something funny, he wants it in the show, but it's less like structured improv, like, okay, go make up a scene. That doesn't happen. But we love to add things and we take things out if they're not working.
And, for Kaniehtiio and Harlan, how would you guys best describe the way your individual characters relate to Shoresy? Like, he's definitely a tough one. So what would you say their motivations are?
Harlan,
I got this. With Sanguinet, like you saw that he's like this like shy and reserved guy. There's often like some tenderness there.
Yeah.
And I think gets attached to that side of Shoresy because like Shoresy sobs and cries a lot in the show. So there's a lot of room for Stanger to like relate to him and be like, hey, my man, you know, try to pat him on the shoulder just to get shrugged off 2 seconds later.
Yeah.
I'm not in the show. I'm just a consulting producer.
Yeah.
But Tanis relates to Shoresy on Letterkenny, and I guess I did send him off into this space, which is kind of a cool connection to have. And you know, I think Tanis doesn't take his whining, or I think Tanis has a lot of respect for him before she kicked him out. Or not kicked him out, but you know, sent him off.
Yeah.
Encouraged his journey.
Yes. I mean, it's my cousins, right? It's my cousins who own the team. So
Oh, that's right.
yeah, like my sister is playing my cousin.
Absolutely.
My head just exploded. I know. I think you're right. I mean, you're right. You're right.
We're doing this show called Shoresy.
Right.
So, I mean, what is it that is your hope that fans will take away?
I just hope they enjoy it. I hope this adds to the kind of little universe we've created with Letterkenny. We've got great fans. We hope that we give them a show that they want, but weren't necessarily expecting, that it's a little bit of a bit of a challenge, a bit of a new thing, but one that feels like it belongs in the world. And yeah, we just hope they enjoy it. I mean, God, you know, with a TV comedy, all you're really hoping for is a few chuckles and somebody to keep watching. We're not looking to change the world. We're just looking for them to enjoy themselves and be entertained and, you know, have something to do while they're inside.
Absolutely. Well, I want to
Spoken
thank
like a
you
real
guys so
indoor
much
kid
for
there,
taking
didn't
a few
I?
minutes to speak with me. I appreciate it.
A pleasure. Thanks for taking the time yourself.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.